Welcome to the new Dedunked Basketball Podcast. We're making a few changes around here. I know it's been a while since we recorded, so we decided that we should either stop recording this or go all in, like a Cavaliers fan would say. And we decided to go all in. So
I figured it'd be defend the land.
Yeah, we're going to defend the land. So we're going to defend the Dedunked Basketball Podcast. So we're hoping to start recording a lot more often, every 2 or 3 weeks. We're hoping to record more often. We're hoping to get some music going on in the intro, get a logo up on the screen as you watch the video. I'll introduce us one more time. I'm Luke Zelstra.
I'm Devin DeBoer.
And I'm Nick Wellstra.
So that's going to be your three main hosts as the podcast goes forward. We have some other basketball fan friends that we would like to get on the podcast every once in a while. So we'll see how that works out. And we even thinking about making a little bit of a podcast network and getting some special shows on. Maybe we'll get a college basketball show, a specific Bulls show, a specific Houston Rockets show. We'll see.
Anti-Celtics, possibly.
Anti-Celtics show.
100% decided.
So we will maybe just even a basketball history show. We have different ideas for other shows we could put up. So we'll get you updated on that. But as of right now, welcome to the new Dedunked Basketball Podcast, starting today, the 4th of July.
And what
Gordon
better
Hayward
day,
Day.
right?
Yeah. All right, here we go. Hello and welcome to the Dedunked NBA Podcast. Today is our first day back after a long break, and we're going to recap the finals a little bit, and then we're going to get the draft and free agency covered, and we're going to start looking a little bit to next season as we start the new era of the podcast. So,
yeah, I would just like
thanks
to
for
put in a disclaimer that it's late in the evening and we're all tired. So
Yeah.
if we sound a bit exhausted, a bit out of breath, it's because we are exhausted and we are out of breath. But I mean, that's what the NBA does, right? It takes the breath away.
It's 10:17 p.m. Central Time, so we'll have a nice long day celebrating our favorite country in the world. So,
Might I add, I just want to say,
go ahead.
there is no better country than America.
I mean, we have a lunatic for president. We're $16 trillion in debt.
Well, here's the thing.
But I'd still rather live here than anywhere else in the world.
That's the thing, exactly. I'm saying, look around us. So many problems.
We're sitting
So
here.
many things going wrong. Some things going right. So many things going wrong, like Gordon Hayward going to Boston. And yet, I'd rather live here than literally anywhere
look
else.
where
in
I'm
the
sitting
globe.
right now. I'm surrounded by pretzels, Kool-Aid jammers, beef jerky, and Despicable Me too. So it doesn't get a lot better than that.
Yeah. Right.
We should probably start talking about basketball now.
Well, here. Okay. I want to bring up one more point. England, supposed to be such a great nation at the time that we become independent, right?
Yeah.
Now, the way I see it, we are like the heir to England.
Okay.
So
Torch has been passed.
if England was so great, yeah, exactly, the torch has been passed, we're even better. Because I see, it's the anti-MJ Kobe. It's like if Kobe came before MJ.
Yeah, Kobe's better than MJ.
No, what I'm saying is like MJ's better than Kobe.
Right.
So England is Kobe, but we're MJ. So like if Kobe came first, then that's the way I see America and England.
So like England is Jimmy Butler, but USA is Paul Zipser.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
All right. Well, speaking of 4th of July, I'm sure
I was trying to find a way to relate basketball to
It was
my
a
favorite
good try.
nation. So
I like that. Favorite nation, favorite sport.
we got plenty more shows coming up.
Okay, I love baseball, but baseball is not America's favorite pastime anymore.
No, it hasn't been for a while.
All right. Anyway, as the 4th of July went today, the third straight 4th of July with a big free agent signing last year was Kevin Durant. And before that was LaMarcus Aldridge, who was, I guess, a big free agent signing at the time, and now he's just the guy that chokes in the playoffs every year and makes Greg Popovich's hair fall out. Yeah, so I'm sure we all had fun 4th of July parties today with Gordon Hayward signing with the Celtics.
Yep.
We'll get to that in a little while.
It's fantastic.
We should probably start a little further back. So we haven't recorded in a while. We feel bad about that. We're sorry to our 4 or 5 listeners.
Busy lives.
Busy situations. But now that we're going to be a little more committed to recording the podcast.
We're going to make it more of a priority. Yeah.
Well, that's the plan.
Yeah.
So we're going to start out talking about the finals just a little bit. We know it's kind of been worn off, but we're going to touch on it a little bit.
Yeah.
There were a few questions that have been asked in the finals. Every year we have those generic basketball debates that everyone likes to talk about, and we figured we should touch on them for a little bit as we talk about the finals. So first of all, the Warriors beat the Cavs in 5 games. It was not a terribly competitive series. It turns out Kevin Durant is not bad at basketball. So just a bit of a vague general question to start out. What is this era going to look like? Are the Cavs going to be able to compete with the Warriors? I mean, this whole season we've been talking about waiting for that trilogy, waiting for the big series at the end of the season that will really make all this worth it.
Right. Yep.
And it wasn't. You know, it was a gentleman's sweep. And I called Warriors in 5, so I don't know who I am to say that. But I mean,
I called Cavs in 7, but
it's all right.
You know,
so I mean,
I expected Darren Williams to not look like a sack of potatoes for 10 minutes again.
What do you guys think going forward? Are the Cavs going to have a chance? Are you even excited for next year's finals?
The Cavs had a chance. And then Dan Gilbert decided that he wanted to save his money, and he fired David Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think that the front office turmoil that they're still going through now that Chauncey Billups has said, no, I don't want to be GM or president. They're still searching for someone. We're going into the 4th day of free agency, and they still don't even have a GM.
It's crazy. This is the second best team in the NBA. Doesn't have a GM on 4th of July. I mean, it's crazy.
I think that proves that, like, as it's already rumored, LeBron's probably on his way out next year.
Could be.
I think this just reinforces the fact that Cavs are probably done here.
The organization is in shambles.
LeBron is going to go elsewhere, Houston, to win. Now, I also think that that series did 2 things to the league. It did 2 things to the league. It forced everyone into choosing a direction, right? Fighting for
Chicago
the
Bulls,
present,
Indiana Pacers,
fighting for 2021.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, side note on that, the 2020s, early 2020s are going to be unbelievable.
Michael Porter, Paul Zipser,
you
Nicole
have
Mirotic.
all of these young players that everyone's tanking for because they don't want to compete now.
Mm-hmm.
Just wait 4 years. All these bad teams are going to be unbelievable.
Nick, comments on that?
And the Suns.
Mm-hmm. And the Suns.
Anyway, you got the 2. They had to go one of 2 directions. A lot of people tanked. Philly tanked before it was cool.
Oh, I love Philly.
Atlanta has gone all into tanking. They traded away Dwight Howard, let Paul Millsap walk.
Bulls, Pacers,
exactly.
If you want to call trading Chris Paul, but then giving Blake Griffin a max contract,
I would consider that more of retooling.
Yeah, I guess that's weird.
But yeah, and then everyone else had to go all in. Look at Boston. Look at Houston.
Toronto,
Washington.
Which,
I mean,
Tim Frazier and Jody Meeks. Come on now.
Every time you say Tim Frazier, I think like, wait, Tate Frazier.
All right. One more question on this subject that I just came to mind, which I thought was an interesting one.
Okay.
Who is the next Eastern Conference team to win a championship? Now, I'm going to let you take a minute to think about it, and I'm just going to go over a candidate. Okay. So, the Cavs have a case. That case is LeBron stays or wins it this year.
Yeah, that case, the window for that case is closing.
Yeah. You need either a fluky finals where the Cavs win or an injury from Golden State, which I'm not going to rule out because injuries do exist and happen sometimes.
I mean, 2011 happens as well.
Yep.
You know.
So, speaking of which, as you guys think about that question, I have another point to make. What's interesting to me is the difference between the Cavs and the Warriors, as you look back on this era, comes down to the front office and how they're able to build their teams.
Absolutely.
That's the most intriguing part of basketball to me is team building, being a GM. My dream job, not going to happen. I'm sorry. I understand.
Hey, welcome to my house.
If you look at Golden State, look at Cleveland, how they both built their teams, that's what's really amazing is look at even the role players. So let's go player by player. Cleveland has LeBron on a max deal, Irving on a max deal, Love on a max deal.
Yep. Tristan Thompson on almost
Tristan Thompson on a massive deal. What is JR making? $14 million a year.
12.4.
Channing Frye makes $8 million a year. 7.8. Who else? Shumpert makes too much.
I think
Mozgov was making a lot. That's just what they've been doing. Is LeBron forces the GM or the whoever it is.
I think LeBron
keep running it back, paying them
as amazing as he is. When he came to Cleveland and said, "Hey, get Andrew Wiggins out of here for Kevin Love," I think of that enforced the fact that he's like, all right, I'm here to win right now. If I can't win right now, then I'm out of here.
And to be fair, those role players at that price should have been enough because that's a really good team.
Oh, yeah. No,
but the Warriors went above a good team to a great team.
Light years ahead.
Yeah. Now on the other hand, let's take Golden State. Curry was on that $11 million contract. Took a risk on him with an ankle injury.
I hate Kevin Durant.
Draymond drafted 35th. Curry drafted 6th, 7th? Clay drafted 11th. The role players, Iguodala, an older guy that was a little bit of a reject from Philly. JaVale McGee, what a sneaky role player playing well on their team. Zaza doesn't count. Even like Patrick McCaw and Ian Clark, Sean Livingston. My knees are back from the dead. Like these guys that are playing minutes for them are either older guys that they picked up from other teams or are young, cheap guys, and that's really the difference that made. Is the Warriors were able to have that max carved out in their payroll for Kevin Durant, and the Cavs can't even dream of it. They're so stuck in what they have right now. So now let's go to the question: next Eastern Conference team to win the finals.
That was a very unexpected question. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't think it's the Celtics, and I think I can say that. I've now changed my mind, and I think it's the Celtics.
I think. Well, we gotta think of
because their window has now gone from winning trying to win in 2017 to now they can compete from 2018
to 22
until like 2024 when Jason Tatum's second contract is used up. Expired. Because they have him under team control with restricted free agency.
As ridiculous as it is, this question also means who's going to be the best when the Warriors are done.
Yeah.
And I have a couple candidates in the East. Of course, the Cavaliers, who would have to beat the Warriors while they're good, and I don't think they're going to. So I don't know. As sad as it is for Cleveland, they got their one championship. I think they're done. Obviously, Boston, because not only are they good now, but they're also
they have the window to be great for years to come.
And I
really think they've molded themselves into San Antonio.
It's impressive. I think you have to mention the Sixers.
Yeah, you do.
Just because if the Warriors are good for 5 more years, and you have 28-year-old Embiid, Simmons. I mean, not 28. I don't know how old they are now.
If you look at the raw prospect of this team, I mean, they have so many people with such high upside.
Just Fultz, Simmons, Embiid, and Saric is an unbelievable core that could end up being a powerhouse, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Feds. I hate Feds.
Yeah.
I want to mention. We probably should mention Milwaukee. Just because Giannis could be a future MVP.
Yeah.
Jabari Middleton. I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Not the level of Philly.
Even Brogdon's a good role player. Good starting level player.
And after that, I mean, it's tough. So
I don't know if there's anything after that even has the remote window. I think I'll pick
the Celtics, but we're looking really far ahead in the future.
Yeah. What do you think in the West? I think
after Golden State.
Yeah, I think the obvious
Minnesota
the obvious one is Minnesota.
Utah.
Probably Denver.
Yep. If OKC stays, I mean, how old are Russell and PG?
Well, here's the thing: is PG's not staying.
That's true. He's probably going to LA.
We can just cover that topic right now and then move on again.
If you're a believer,
PG's not staying.
If you're a believer in the Lakers' free agency magic, you could put them on there too. If you would, Magic.
Paul George said, A, I want to compete for a championship, or B, I want to be in LA. He's not doing either in Oklahoma City. He went from a small market in Indiana. We can say we live in Indiana. We know it's a very small market.
Oh yeah.
To Oklahoma City.
That's right.
You downgraded from Indiana.
I would not underestimate. I wouldn't underestimate the ability to believe they have a chance at the title. I think they'll lose in how this year goes. I mean, if you tell me OKC gets 60 wins and a 2 seed, loses to Golden State in 5 or 6, then maybe I'll tell you he could stay.
Yeah, if you could tell me that Houston didn't exist, then I would totally agree with you.
Yeah, Houston's gonna be tough. All right, that's probably enough on that topic. We have a couple more questions from the finals that we should touch on. Of course, everyone asked the 2017 Warriors versus the 95-96 Bulls. We're going to keep it pretty quick here. Let's all say our point and try not to argue with each other as possible. I'll go first. I'm going to take the Bulls, but I'm not very confident. I do believe in the modern players just being better and whatever, medicine being better, players being in better shape. That's definitely a true thing. But I really think the Bulls could be the one team of the past that played with the Warriors. I mean, anyone from the 60s, no, not a contest. The 80s Celtics, you can't play Parrish against them, and McHale is an awkward stretch 5.
Yeah.
Even the
Especially playing against them.
Even the Showtime Lakers would be a little bit tough for them to guard the Warriors.
Yep.
But I believe the 95-6 Bulls really have the, especially defense, to guard them. Like I said, I'm not really confident in it, but I think that if there's any team from the past that can beat them, this is it.
Well, I think, and I'll go now, I think it's the Warriors, because I think the way that you set up the topic, not you specifically, but anyone, the way you set up the topic is who wins right now. And that's the Warriors, because the Warriors have handshakes on their side.
Obviously, each team wins in their own rules.
Yeah,
I mean,
right. I think that's totally a big deal. But the way that the league went, right, in like 05, when you can't hand check anymore on defense. You can't move people around when they've got the ball. I think that makes a big difference here, because you can't play that physical brand of defense that you played in the 80s and 90s and even the 70s.
I mean, it probably makes a difference. I feel like Pippen guards Durant. Pippen's one of the greatest defenders of all time. You can forget about it.
Yep.
Rodman and Draymond are like kind of each other.
Yeah.
And then, and plus, Rodman's a better rebounder than Draymond is.
Yeah.
And I believe if you were weirdly enough, 95-6 Bulls were made as a small ball team almost. Like Kukoc is a beautiful stretch four.
Yep.
Rodman could play the 5, especially if Draymond's his matchup, and he can out rebound it for a 5.
I mean, I think they're able to keep up with the death lineup better than anyone in the league right now.
For sure.
But
and if you're playing in today's brand, today's culture and shooting a lot of threes, Steve Kerr is a good off-ball shooter. Jordan probably shoots more.
I think the big thing here, though, is that Golden State, even with players like Kukoc, or how I don't even know how you pronounce it.
I say Kukoc.
Okay, and Kerr, and role players like that. You're looking at role players in this instance. You're not looking at someone like Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, who can all shoot just as well as him. Okay, not Draymond, but
I know what you mean.
The point is like star players in their roles, not just role players. I think it's a big deal.
So Pippen takes, help me with these matchups. So Pippen takes Durant. Is Rodman going on Klay, or is Rodman going on Draymond?
Draymond.
Or is Rodman even going on Durant at times? Depends on the lineup.
I think it's possible that you put
if they run that Durant center lineup, Rodman guards Durant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jordan can guard Pippen or Curry or Klay. I mean, but I don't like Jordan putting in too much work on defense. But I feel like you have to put him on one of those two guys.
Yep.
And then after that, I guess you have Harper and Kerr running around screens chasing Klay. But then you flip that around, that's when things get a little dicey to me. So if you're the Warriors, who do you put on Jordan? Draymond, I'm assuming?
You have to put Draymond on him.
And then
Durant's
got
you
Pippen.
You could probably put Klay on him.
I guess. But I feel like Jordan's such a good one-on-one scorer. I wouldn't trust anyone against him or Pippen, but that'd be a fun match. I wish we could see it, but we can't.
Yeah.
We should probably move on.
Probably just sim it in 2K18.
Yeah, got anything, Nick?
No.
All right. We're going to skip Jordan versus LeBron.
I'm fine with that. We could go. I could tell you
really
what LeBron's better
I'd say
for
not
days.
much changed really in the finals for
Yeah.
LeBron.
No.
Same. Greatest team of all time. I'm going to give my quick point. You have to define team. Greatest collection of basketball talent, for sure.
Yep.
I mean, and that's not Team USA or whatever. For one season. Best team of all time, yes. But when you use the term greatest team, I'm thinking like dynasty. And I want to see a few more years before I can give them that title because
Show me what you've got in 2 years still.
Yeah,
3
exactly.
Years, 4 years.
yeah,
Not 1, not 2, not 3.
greatest team sounds like
Yeah,
more of
they
a
have 2
dynasty
titles.
legacy thing than
Right.
just one season. Best season of all time. I'll give you that one.
And here's
for sure.
the thing: even in 2045, we're gonna look back and be like, "Yeah, but they had Kevin Durant. They added Kevin Durant. If Kevin Durant doesn't come back, if they keep Harrison Barnes, they sign him to a max deal, then you can talk about in 20 years and be like, yeah, they were the best ever.
Yeah.
But even if they somehow fall apart now, they had 210 wins in 3 seasons.
It's
Ridiculous.
unbelievable. Yeah.
If this is, I don't want to be that guy. If it weren't for Draymond hitting LeBron in the nuts, would we be saying greatest 3-year span ever right now?
Yeah.
If they went back to back to back.
Yeah. Probably.
Like, okay, between Warriors and Cavs, I'm always on the Warriors side of the debate generally. But I do want to play devil's advocate here and point out the Warriors never beat the Cavs with both teams at full strength without Durant.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm saying.
It's a great what if Durant had stayed.
If Durant goes somewhere else, like Boston,
Or stays in OKC even.
or even stays in OKC, yeah,
You see those teams. I mean, I would have picked the Warriors to beat them the next season because I think it was a fluky thing that they lost
Yeah, me
last
too.
year.
But
Curry was hurt.
but
Draymond was
I'm giving
stupid.
LeBron the benefit of the doubt.
Fair enough. Because we never did see that really fair matchup.
Yeah.
You could argue we saw the Cavs banged up one year.
Yep.
The Warriors banged up one year.
And then you saw Kevin Durant.
Yeah, and then Kevin Durant came and kind of ruined it all. So, although it's great to see the Warriors great as they are right now, it is sad we didn't get to see those two.
And by the way, I'm a huge LeBron dude. But Nick Wright is a nut.
Yeah.
All right? I just want to put that out there. We can move on to the next topic.
Okay. There was that debate after Durant hit that shot when Paul Pierce said Durant was the best player in the world.
False.
Can we both say not yet?
There's nothing in that series that showed to me that he can control 42 minutes of a game, 46 minutes of a game,
Like LeBron can.
the way LeBron can.
So,
The pace of the game depends on what LeBron says.
the one thing that I do want to point out in Durant's defense is right now it's no question to me. It's LeBron, then Durant, and then you can talk after that of Curry or whoever. I think it's Curry.
Kawhi, Curry, whoever. Yeah.
Russ
Durant
Harden.
can't lead his team in every stat for an entire series.
Right. Durant's a better scorer than LeBron, probably.
Yes,
But after
he
that,
absolutely is.
After
Yeah.
that, forget about it. Like
LeBron's not the
LeBron's
same
better
natural
passer,
scorer
rebounder,
the way that he is.
Defender.
right, defender probably. So the thing for Durant is like we all looked at this era of basketball like we have LeBron now, and then we have the future guys. We have Giannis, Embiid, Porzingis. Who else is in that age? Jokic. Mostly Giannis was the next guy we were talking about. Yeah, even Simmons. Everyone was like, we have LeBron. Once LeBron's gone, those young guys will take over. But I think we all forgot that Durant was still in there. Like, now that he got his, he got out of, weirdly enough, being on the Warriors was more his team than Thunder was. The Warriors really were his team, and we showed it in the finals.
Yeah.
And you look going forward at what they can look like, and there's definitely a period between LeBron and I guess you could say Giannis is going to be the next guy to own the league. And I think, how old is LeBron?
AD somewhere there.
AD, that's right. He's the other young guy. What's LeBron, 32 now?
Yep.
32.
I'll give it another year or two, and then I think it will be Durant's league for a while before it moves on to one of those young guys for sure. And we always forgot about him, and I think now it's his time to really.
I think that the way we'll look back on it is it's going to go from LeBron to AD or Giannis. But there's always that guy in the middle. You know, there's still that like Grant Hill where like you can say that what if, you know?
Isaiah Thomas almost.
Right, exactly. There's always that one player that you're like, well, there was still that span between player to play. AI, exactly. Yeah, that everyone loved, but you knew like he's the guy right now. But Elgin Baylor, sure.
Durant's gonna get his couple of years. All right, that's too much talking about the finals. It's already been 21 minutes, so let's move on to the NBA draft. I have a minute or two to talk about the Markelle Fultz trade, please. Thank you. All right, I'm a Philadelphia Sixers apologetic. Does that mean supporter?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I am.
I apologize all the time in Philadelphia.
Sam Hinkie died for all of our sins. I really loved that trade. I was in Hawaii on vacation as it happened, and I got the notification when I got back to the hotel, and I just ran around in excitement wearing my Joel Embiid jersey. I was so happy. We talked about the trade. I tried to get away to make the trade happen, the trade machine, all that, and it happened, and it makes sense for both teams, right?
No.
What do you think? Do you think the Celtics should have kept Fultz?
The Celtics should have kept Fultz.
I
know Jason Tatum hit that buzzer beater in Summer League. I'm not a Tatum dude.
I think if they would have traded 3, it would definitely make sense for them. But they got Hayward, so I mean, what you gonna do?
Like, I'm not a huge college basketball dude. But every time that I watch Fultz, I'm like, dude, this guy controls the game. And then I go to watch someone like Tatum, and I'm like, he's good. He's really good. He's an awesome player.
Well, they gave up.
But the way that he plays, I don't think it translates to having a lasting, like, all-star level.
They gave up number 1 and next year's Lakers pick and a Kings pick. So
yes. Either
protected
that
or something.
On
swap or something like that. So, like, I guess it depends on the Celtics what they were going to do with Fultz. In a weird way, it would have been a threat to Isaiah if they would have taken Fultz. Because at some point you have to give him the offense and let Fultz do some stuff.
The way okay, sorry, keep going.
But you go ahead. I just feel like Tatum's a better fit, or Jackson, either way.
I feel like Tatum's a better fit for right now, but you're going to be looking for a point guard now in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, whenever.
Looks like they're
someone like Fultz, you're looking at someone who's like probably a game changer in the league. I don't want to oversell the guy. Ben Simmons hasn't even played a game yet, right? And everyone's like, "Oh, he's the next LeBron James." But the dude shoots worse than LeBron even did when he came in the league.
Right.
But the guy has more potential than anyone else to change the future of the league. And you say, "No, actually, I would just like to go with this guy who can help me right now."
If they were to take Fultz, it would be I'd say a threat to Isaiah in a bit of a light sense. It would mean that Isaiah's job is, his clock is ticking.
Yep.
And I feel like
you
don't ever avoid a move just because of narrative.
Yeah.
But in a weird way, if they take Fultz, that's a lot of stuff going on around Isaiah. And
you can keep Isaiah, and you can play Fultz at the 2, and you can let Avery Bradley walk. I know he's a great player. I don't know if his ceiling's already been capped out.
Yeah.
Markelle Fultz has unlimited potential at this point because he's only played 2 summer league games. You let him walk. You've got Markelle Fultz on a rookie contract instead of having to give Avery Bradley the max. And now you can afford Gordon Hayward. You can afford to trade for Paul George, even though it's too late now. But you have a lot more flexibility if you say, Avery Bradley, we can't keep you around anymore. We're going to let Fultz become the future of our 2.
Just a matter of
still play the 1 too.
Yeah, it's just a matter of choosing to go all in with Isaiah Thomas and not have that the other guy behind him. So you can make an argument both ways, but Philadelphia, forget about it. Fultz, Simmons. I thought they'd have to go Sarge in the trade.
Look at this team and just think, hey, if they're healthy.
Yeah, it's just sad. It's sad that's such a big
Joel Embiid could be the next Greg Oden, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, I was expecting Saric to have to be in the trade for it to happen.
Really?
Number one in Saric. I mean, the Celtics could use Saric for
Absolutely,
sure at
yeah.
the 4, their one weakness position. And the fact that they hung on to him.
You're telling me Kelly Olynyk doesn't move the... Okay.
They hung on
Whatever.
to McConnell, Covington, Saric, all those other role players, Okafor even. That's a loaded team. It's ridiculous, and I'm so happy.
As much as I hate Okafor, I mean...
Trust the process. All right. Speaking of the NBA draft, not a lot of controversy happened up until pick number 7. When do I have to call them my Chicago Bulls? Can I just call them the Chicago Bulls?
Yes.
Traded number 16 and Jimmy Butler
I don't... Why?
for Chris Dunn, Zach LaVine, number 7. Okay,
Whatever.
let me.
You trade away... Yeah, you talk.
So
It's your team.
here's my analysis. Nick, I need you to help me out here as a Bulls fan. Number 16 being in the deal is unexcusable. That shouldn't have been in the deal. And I it's hard for me to believe that they wouldn't have been able to pull it off without 16.
May I interject? What is more inexcusable? Selling away the 38th pick to the best team of all time, possibly? Or getting rid
That was ridiculous too.
Whatever. It's
Oh.
just... It's all dumb.
That was also bad.
Fire
But
guard packs. By the way, one last interruption. I'm sorry. When we start our Bulls show, because we're planning on doing a Rockets show and a Bulls show, since we have Bulls and Rockets fans on the show, it's probably going to be called Fire Guard Packs. So just keep checking this channel. Keep looking in, and when you find Fire Guard Packs episode 1, you'll know what it is.
all right, so I don't think it was that bad. Yes, they could have gotten a better deal earlier, but at least they chose a direction. Because honestly, hanging on to Butler right now would do nothing for the franchise. It would keep them in whatever 8, 9 spot in the East, and they would be mediocre. And I've had enough of that. I know they could have gotten a better deal last summer, but at this point, you just get rid of it. That's another thing that it's hard to think about. They could have had such a better deal, and they could have had Tate, the number 3 pick on their team right now.
Yeah.
But you look at what they have, and it's not really a good roster, but it's gonna tank. And
They would have number 1.
yeah. So I don't hate the trade,
Yeah, Fultz.
but I do hate the pick of Markkanen at 7.
Yeah.
I'm not a Markkanen guy. I think if you're 7 feet tall, you should at least rebound a little bit, play some defense.
I love him as like a
role
good
player.
starter.
Yeah, but you can't build a team around him,
Start a
right?
rebuild around.
I would have liked Malik Monk at 7.
Yep. Dennis Smith.
Sure, yeah, either Dennis Smith or even Filthy Frank.
Yeah.
How do you say his name? Nitalinka?
Ntilikina.
Nitalikina, yeah.
Or as Bill Simmons says, Frank Nicotine.
Yeah, that's good. Frankie Nicotine's a good one too. So I mean, I don't really hate the trade, but I really hate the pick. I was mad about that for a while. But I mean, you look forward. You already released Rondo. I think Wade's getting bought out. I don't want to guarantee that. And then you look at Dunn, Levine, Markkanen, Zipser, Portis, Mirotic, Felicio. Hopefully high draft picks
Or they
next
just
2 years.
extended.
Yeah, which is weird. Felicio is a good one. Mirotic is
Yeah.
a weird
Yeah.
signing. I thought. Look at
They haven't signed him yet, have they?
yeah, they already did.
Oh, they did?
Or I think it was a restricted free agency. They said they were gonna keep him or something.
Oh, okay, but they haven't come to terms with the deal yet.
I don't think so, but it's gonna be a lot. Yeah. Then you look at future lottery picks and cap space, and it's not the worst thing in the world. It's a better situation they were in before they
It's a
traded.
good floor to start at.
Yeah,
The
I mean-
only problem is they could have gotten a jump start this year by taking someone
Yeah,
other
that's the whole thing. Nick,
than
you're up.
Boy.
Yeah, I get that the league is moving into this, era where we've talked a lot about stretch fours and whatever, and Markkanen fits into that. But Bulls need to replace Jimmy Butler. With that trade, they didn't take someone who they could, like you said, build around. And
So you look at it. Okay. I'm sorry. So before the draft, I hated Markkanen, and I had him like 12th, 13th on my board, and they took him 7th. But I was not a fan for the longest time. And then I heard the Dirk Nowitzki comparison. And I thought for a minute that Dirk isn't a great passer, rebounder, defender. But he gets buckets. So that's the only situation where I wouldn't hate Markkanen is if he can score a lot. And still, you had to score 20 points a game to make up for your bad defense rebounding.
Yeah. You have to at least have
There's a small chance I've gone on his Instagram page and commented, please try defensive rebounding more than one time.
There's also
Go ahead.
I think that there's a ceiling that he has that you're not going to reach when it comes to Dirk.
Yeah, for sure.
But-
I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Dirk,
Okay,
but that
alright.
style of player is
But
the
that's
best case
how- yeah.
scenario.
But like you said, you can't build around that.
No, you can't. Monk,
Build around something that you know is a sure thing.
you can't build around Levine or
So
Dunn either.
maybe Monk, maybe.
It's gonna have to be next year's
But-
pick.
Yeah, they're
And
just
free
gonna have to
agent money.
hope to get Michael Porter.
All right. Let's talk about Minnesota's side real fast.
Yeah.
So since then they've picked up Taj Gibson,
Yeah.
Jeff Teague. So now what are you guys looking at? Where in the West will these 2009
5.
Chicago Bulls? Oh, I mean, Minnesota Timberwolves.
5.
How good will they be? I'm thinking around there too. I mean, it's kind of
This
a weird
team
team
is
still.
so good.
It's not deep. I'm not a big believer in Shabazz Muhammad and Cole Aldridge. I'm
He's
sorry.
gone. No, Cole Aldridge is gone.
It's not a
And
deep
he's
team.
not gone. He's just stuck there. And Shabazz, they're not keeping around him.
And the
very
defense is going to be
positive on that.
weird. The defense was terrible there last year. Picking up Butler will help with that, obviously.
Jimbo, yep.
And
Taj.
Gibson. It's going to be a weird team, but I mean, you give them somebody to build around. You got. Okay, I'm going to go. I'm sorry I'm talking so much. Between Towns and Butler,
Sorry.
you now have 2 of the top 17, 20 guys in the NBA.
Yep.
And how many teams can say that now? Houston, Golden State, Cleveland,
Houston.
OKC,
Houston.
and Minnesota. So they're on a list
Did
of
you say
New
Boston?
Orleans, maybe.
Boston,
Washington.
depending where you rank Hayward. But I think
I'm a Beal dude.
their second best guy is better than most second best guys in the
Yeah.
NBA. They're on a short list of 5 or 6 teams when it comes to that. They've got a great 3 guys to build around. I'm not a big Wiggins guy.
So I'm a Wiggins guy as your fourth best guy or
Yeah.
third best guy. He's
Yeah.
gonna make the All-Star game. He's gonna put up 25, 30 points, but you can't expect him to lead your team
And he doesn't
when your
try
best
on
players are in
defense
foul
so
trouble.
fast, Yeah.
I think that he'll try a lot more. When you have someone like Butler on your team, I think you're bound to catch some of his culture.
Remember at the end?
What pick was he
30.
30? Okay. The guy knows how to work his way into a
Oh yeah.
Tom
Went
Thibodeau
to a junior
rotation.
college.
Yeah.
Houston. He was homeless as a child. His mom kicked him out. Right.
The guy knows how to grind.
Yeah.
You
And
look
if
at.
anything, I think he can wear that off.
So at
on
the beginning of
Wiggins.
last year, we were talking, last season, we were talking about the Timberwolves, how they lost so many close games.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the guy to go
That's
score.
not happening.
They didn't have the clutch guy to go in there and score,
Yep.
and they didn't have a pecking order.
Yep.
Let me give you one. Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
He's clutch.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched a lot of fun Bulls games where he's scored winning baskets. And I'm excited to see how they can do.
And Karl Anthony Towns is only going to get better.
He's an excellent second player.
and
He really is.
I think he's going to be the first player soon.
Possibly.
I'm the guy who thinks that he's going to be the second best guy in the league behind
We
AD.
forgot him in that conversation earlier too. Yeah.
That's how high I am on Cat. And the thing is, he's still got a ways to go before his jumper, his outside, his 3-point jumper is something
Yeah.
you can fundamentally depend on.
Yeah.
But he's right there.
I hate to be that guy who says you can't build around a center or a post guy in today's NBA.
Yeah.
But I do believe that you see with the Pelicans before they got Boogie, that having one really good post player isn't enough anymore. You
Yeah.
have to have a really good outside presence too.
I mean, look at Denver.
Yeah,
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. And Butler's going to be the outside scorer that they need. So we should probably
Yeah.
move on. We're going way too long on this podcast. There's been a lot of trades. We're going to spend just a minute or two on each. First, Dwight Howard trade.
Charlotte is underrated so much better
So
than they were 2 weeks
It
ago.
made a lot of sense for Charlotte. They got Dwight Howard for a bag of chips. It was Bellinelli and which one was it? Plumlee?
I don't know which one.
I'm pretty sure it was Mason. So they got
Pretty sure it's Miles.
They got Dwight Howard for nothing. And now they're going to be, solid in the East. But let's talk about Atlanta. Are they just trying to dump everyone? Is that their plan?
Tank Af.
Tank Af? And
Tank Af.
might be all they can do.
I know.
They
Reports
didn't
are
get-
they're not planning on retaining Tim Hardaway unless he takes that
Uh-huh.
discount Af. So you got some like Torian Prince who's going to be pretty good. It's hard to find a good wing player. Him. You
A
got
good man is
Schroeder.
hard to find.
Good man is hard to find. Thanks.
A good wing player is hard to find.
You got Schroeder, who give him another year at the keys of the offense, see what he
Oh, yeah.
does. Bays, I hate him. And
He's fans are
as you
insane.
know, I'm writing a small excerpt, a small book, short story.
Uh-huh.
You don't know about this, I haven't talked to you.
I told him.
Oh, you have? And I have so far trashed Kent Bazemore almost as much as I trashed the Boston Celtics. So I don't like him. But whatever.
Yeah, I think
whatever.
they're obviously blowing it up. They're just hitting their big red
Yeah.
button. After the trade,
New
I was a bit-
GM, new president.
After the trade, I was a bit confused, but now that Millsap's gone, I guess I just basically clean the house and whatever. You do that if you want to.
Yeah.
All right, the D'Angelo Russell trade. Let me make it simple for you. The Nets don't have any picks, have a lot of cap room, took on a big contract to take
Yep.
a potential full player.
And got assets with it. They got a 27th pick.
The Lakers essentially did the opposite. They unloaded a bad contract they shouldn't have signed last summer.
Yep.
Made space for Lonzo Ball.
Yep.
Good deal for everybody.
Or wait, did
Yeah.
they send out the 27th pick to
Yeah.
LA? Okay, yeah, that's how I went.
Yep.
All right. Chris Paul trade.
Good deal.
Go.
I really like Lopez there. Chris Paul trade. Oh my goodness, this came straight out of nowhere. This guy was going to sign with Houston, obviously. So,
Okay, timeout.
no, listen.
I was
listen.
not expecting him to sign with Houston.
Reports are told he went to Doc,
Uh-huh.
and they had like a 90-minute meeting. Jerry West was not at the meeting, which is surprising because he's supposed to be in charge of all this stuff now, or as a consultant at least. And he says, "Hey, I was going to go to San Antonio, but I would have to gut that team in order to even get there with cap space.
True.
But so I've chosen Houston. I'm going to Houston. Me and James Harden have already talked about it. Me and Mike D'Antoni have already talked about it. Me and Daryl Morey have already talked about it. We're ready to go.
Rockets know he's coming. Why did they trade? Why did they just?
Why did they trade? Because we get him for $11 million less
Oh yeah, because
for this year. So we had to give up less. Also, I think this was a big thing. Chris Paul was like, "Hey, I mean, I'm not trying to leave this place in the dust like Kevin Durant left OKC in the dust. You deserve to get something for my services back." So
would Houston rather have him in this trade and give up some assets for him than just sign him for more money afterward and keep the guys?
I like it because it helps them keep their exceptions. They stayed.
I heard about this.
They went over the cap to get him now.
So they get their mid-level exception, the trade exception,
their biannual and their trade exception. Exactly. So they actually ended up with more money now, outside of just saving $11 million this year.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's a great deal. I think.
So it puts them in second or third in the West
and
now.
I think it's a really good plan that he is. I mean, he's staying.
So what do you think about the weird the dynamic of them playing together? Are you worried about that at all as a Rockets fan?
Here's the way that I see it. Chris Paul wants to win. He's never made a conference finals.
Yep.
He has proved he wants to win because he took a $9 to $11 million discount. He gave up the max. He said, "I'll just come here for the old max, $24 million instead of $35 it could get by signing here."
Yep.
And I think that shows he's really confident in his game still. He's 32.
He's still good.
So he's on the apex. He's going down. Let's be honest. I mean, he's probably not going to be as good each year from now on. But I think it shows a lot about his physical ability. He knew, hey, I'm still at the top of my game. I can still play. So I don't need to worry about getting a big contract now.
Yeah.
Because I can get it later.
Daryl Morey though, like what a GM he is.
I know, he's great.
Great work from him. All right.
I just want to say, like, for people who don't think that, all you listeners,
all four
of you who don't think this is going to work, Chris Paul took a pay cut to come here on a 1-year deal. So I mean, if it doesn't work, his trainer, he can leave. But he's so confident in himself that he's taking a shorter deal to come to Houston and try to win that he load up on a 5-year max and just get his money and not worry about it. I think that shows confidence in his game.
So Ricky Rubio got traded to the Jazz. It's a little bit of a somber.
Rip Jazz.
Yeah, R.I.P. Take note.
Hashtag.
Note's been taken.
Take note. Notes were taken. They were taken to Boston. Took their talents and their notes to South Beach.
Except for the
Jersey
Boston
Shore.
Harbor. Yeah. So looking at that trade now, it's kind of a shell of what it was a week ago when it happened or whenever.
Yeah.
Would have been fun to see Rubio with the Jazz with Hayward.
Man, it would have been fun, yeah.
But also it's going to be fun, I think, to have a competitor for the Cavs in the East, which I think the Celtics are actually going to be.
I'll push them to 4.5 games.
Yeah. And Jeff Teague going to the Timberwolves after that.
They could have done
just
better.
made sense.
They could have done so much better.
Who'd you rather have, Rubio or
Lowry.
Teague?
They could have given Lowry a lot more money.
Rubio or Teague? Who's better? Who'd you rather have?
Teague. Outside shooting.
I would
Less
say
defense,
I would
more
say
shooting.
Rubio has more potential. I don't believe that.
I don't know. He's already old.
26.
26.
I haven't
Still
given
not
up on
old,
him
but
yet.
I mean,
But yeah, I do think for 1 year I'd have Teague, but for the future I'd take Rubio probably, Nick.
it's only a 3-year deal. Luckily, it's not a 4-year.
Right.
And also, the 3rd year is team option, partial guaranteed. So you don't have to pay him all of the money in the 3rd year. So I mean, clearly they know that they're competing because now they've got Teague, Taj Gibson. They'll probably get D Rose and Joakim Noah somehow.
You don't want them.
They'll be like, "Hey, Carlos Boozer, if you want, we got a spot for you over here."
Hey, Keith Bogans, how you
Hey,
been?
Kirk Heinrich,
Kirk.
I know you still want to play.
Nate Robinson, DJ Augustine,
Yeah, seriously.
so many. Nazim Mohammed, guess what, buddy? I got some good news for you.
Yeah.
Hey, Kurt Thomas.
Yeah.
Tyrus Thomas.
Oh man, Marcus T.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
so many names.
It.
Ronnie Brewer.
Yeah, we need to stop at this
Okay,
now.
yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, Rajwell Butler. He's playing in the 3-on-3 tournament now, isn't
Hey,
he?
can we just say
He's playing in Ice
he
Cube's
is.
3-on-3 league,
Yeah, he is.
which is cool, by the way.
It's so cool.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Everyone
Also-
but they injured their two players injured in their first game, didn't they?
Yeah.
White
Also,
Chocolate and somebody else.
let's move on now. White Chocolate, I love that guy.
All right, we have a
breaking
news update.
Breaking news.
Clippers acquire Gallo on 3-year, $65 million contract in a 3-team trade with the Nuggets and the Hawks.
As was reported, they were gonna make
Yeah,
a trade.
we knew
just
that
to
all
make
day.
cap all figure. Yeah. I want to talk about Phil Jackson. We
Yeah.
can skip that one point.
Let's do it quick.
Phil Jackson,
about
Rip Phil
time.
Jackson. I'm so sad that he is gone because he was going to buy out Melo and he would have come to Houston or Cleveland, and that means 50% chance he comes to Houston.
It's
Now with the
it's
trade,
about time they got rid of him. I mean, the triangle.
awful.
That's the worst part of the Phil Jackson era is the fact that the triangle is looming over the whole franchise.
They
Like,
pa-
if they would have taken Dennis Smith instead of Filthy Frank, they wouldn't have had the.
or even Malik Monk. I mean,
Leave Monk too.
Either
Larry
of
Markkinen,
them.
you want him? Yeah.
it's
So
just-
it's just about time that Phil got out of there.
Yeah.
It's just too bad for Phil that his coaching legacy had to be
I
tarnished
think-
by his terrible GM.
it was from
Tenure.
what was reported. People around Dolan, Jim's Dolan were telling him like, "Hey, this guy sucks." But he said no. But as soon as the Porzingis
and the
trade
falling
rumors started
asleep
coming
and the
out,
falling asleep in draft workouts.
and falling asleep in draft workouts, exactly. I think that's when they knew. Okay, this guy's just a lunatic.
Speaking of James Dolan, who was playing in a blues concert during the night of the
Yeah,
draft.
shout
I
out
mean,
to him
come
if
on.
he wants to go on tour with Stairwell 6.
Oh no! Don't even bring it up. Okay. Yeah, it's about time they got rid. As I said a minute ago, Phil Jackson, one of the greatest coaches of all time.
Absolutely.
It's Popovich, Phil, and Auerbach.
Yeah.
Am I missing anybody as far as I'm concerned?
Doc.
Maybe
Doc.
yeah, maybe Pat Riley, but it's a short list.
Brett Brown.
Oh, Mark Brown. Yeah, and Fred Hoiberg, you know. Yeah, but I mean, one of the greatest coaches of all time, if not the
Absolutely.
greatest. And it's too bad that he had to tarnish his legacy by being an awful executive for
Yeah.
a couple of years.
But I mean, look at Isaiah Thomas. We still love him.
All right, hopefully that's what happens with Phil too. All right, guys that stayed: Kyle Lowry, Iguodala, and Blake.
Hey,
Why did I don't understand why the Celtics would give Blake a big max contract. He's always injured, and I thought they wanted to blow it up. But I guess
think it's just a sell ticket. I think that's the
yeah,
only reason why.
I guess I'd rather just be okay right now than blow it up.
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry.
Waited out being mediocre.
I wish
until
Lowry
he
would
was-
have gone somewhere else.
Me
Milwaukee,
too.
Minnesota.
You know how much fun it would have been
It wasn't fun.
to put him in Minnesota?
But I mean,
Man.
I've
Or San
I've said it
Antonio?
before. Lowry and DeRozan are probably the most teammate goals players in the NBA.
Yeah.
So I love them
Besides
together.
Chris Paul and James Harden.
You're a funny guy. Go home.
Okay. We record in my home. by the
Okay.
way.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Iguodala, but a surprise him staying, wasn't it? All the reports of him
I'm
going
not
somewhere
surprised
else.
that he tried to gain leverage on other teams like Houston. He said he got the deal from Houston.
Mm-hmm.
He got 3 years, 45. But he
'Cause he
wanted
could have had a
fully
bigger role
guaranteed,
somewhere else, but I mean-
believe. And I think Houston didn't want to give him the full guarantee. So when he went back to Golden State, he's like, "Hey, I can go get 45 right now." And they said, "Well, we'll give you 48 because Kevin Durant is going to make as much as JJ Redick for the next 2 years." Just get
If I'm
freaking
if I'm
team.
Golden State, I don't know. I don't feel like Iguodala is that viable to them, especially with McCall and
If I'm-
Clark now. But
If I'm Adam Silver, I am PO'd that Kevin Durant didn't take his full max. Seriously, I am. Because you go through all this trouble with the Players Association and all the owners to get more cap space just for them to be like, you know what? Actually, we would like
Actually.
Kevin Durant to make just as much as JJ Redick this year. Overpaid JJ Redick, sure. But still, like,
I mean,
it's just unbelievable that they make all this work.
all right, moving forward.
Like, just go on.
Guys that left. We have JJ Redick, Paul Millsap, and then Hayward, who we'll get to for a big thing afterward.
Hayward.
Let's start with Redick.
Just
Just a perfect piece for the Sixers.
perfect.
Good time to leave the Clippers.
Freds. Freds.
I like that.
Yeah.
Fultz, Reddick, Embiid, Dario, Simmons, Freds. Yeah, I like him going to Philly. I was excited
Can
when the
Bob play
signing
the
happened.
two? Or do you think he's too slow?
I don't think he really can.
All
Are
right.
they going to start him or Saric? Because I've heard people say they got to put Simmons at the 4 because you can't play the 3,
Because he
but
can't shoot.
he's a point guard also. Like so.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to work.
Bill
I know they're playing Markel at the
Ben
2.
Simmons. Yeah. Well,
That's all I know.
with McConnell.
No, I'm thinking they're going to
Oh, with
start
Simmons.
Simmons at 1.
I mean, positions shouldn't exist,
Yeah, they don't anymore.
especially with the Sixers.
Yeah.
The point is, Markel Fultz is the perfect guard to put with Simmons because he can play off the ball.
Yep.
And it's going to be beautiful, and I love them all.
It's going to be beautiful.
And please don't get injured, Joel. I love you very much. All right. Millsap, I mean, of course he had to leave. Atlanta was just blowing it up. Blow it up! But as far as where he went,
I think they just became my second favorite league pass
Denver?
team in the league. Yeah, Denver.
all right. But, like, what is it, a 7 seed right now?
Thing is, the West
Golden
is
State-
so unbelievably
Golden
loaded.
State, Houston, San Antonio.
I think it's be the way it was in 2014-15, where the decisions of, or like the outcome of the last game of the season is going to decide if Houston and San Antonio are 2 or 6.
Was that when Phoenix... That season, Phoenix had 48 wins, missed the playoffs. That was earlier than that, but
I think that was
it's
the
going
year
to be like
before.
that. It's going to be
But
like
it's
that.
going to be like that too. Yeah, exactly. It's going to come down to the last day.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm excited.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Denver's a fun young team. I hate that we talk like this now with the way the league is, but are they going to, like, after the Warriors are done, is that their time? I guess it is. But when's that going to be?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's
I can't wait for Denver versus Minnesota in the West, and like Philly versus not Cleveland,
Milwaukee
in
in 2021.
or versus
Chicago.
Chicago, probably no.
No.
But the Celtics is what I was gonna get at.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I just can't wait for those teams.
So they're a fun, young, up-and-coming team in Millsap. But he's 31, isn't he?
32,
So how's that going to work?
3-year deal, non-guaranteed third year.
But, like, I guess he's just going to be there to help him get a little better, but never be really good. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kind of an
It's
awkward
interesting,
window
but
for
once that
Denver.
guy's gone, once he's gone, they can just do the same thing that Golden State does with their center position. They just bring a new power forward. You got to slip in the spot. I mean,
Hopefully they can find somebody, yeah.
plus, they're probably developing a power forward that I just can't think of outside of
In
Kevin.
Serbia right now.
It's Serbia.
All right.
Bosnia.
Is it Gordon Hayward time?
I don't want to talk about Gordon Hayward.
I'll get us started. So let's just first talk about how it happened. It was a bit of a weird process that happened today. What time was it? It was like late morning, early afternoon, and we got the news Gordon Hayward plans to sign with the Boston Celtics. Internet explodes. You know what happens when a free agent like that leaves.
Yep.
And then maybe an hour, half hour later. So the first report was from what's the guy's name at ESPN?
Chris Hayes.
Thank you.
Chris
for
Hayes
that.
from ESPN. And then a little while later, a report comes out from Gordon Hayward and his agent. Yeah, actually, we haven't decided yet.
Apparently,
But they're still
So,
talking it out.
Yeah, they're still talking. So personally, how I translated that is someone from ESPN did a good job reporting.
yep.
Chris Hayes is his name.
Chris
Haynes, I've heard of him.
Yep.
And he leaked this information. He found out he was going to Boston, whatever, and he gave it up to the entire internet/world. But then Gordon Hayward and his agent were like,
hadn't finished his Players
he's
Tribune
like,
piece yet.
oh crap, I wanted to announce that.
Yeah.
Can you take it back?
Right.
So then we had a couple awkward hours of everyone being like, what's actually happening? Is he going to go to Miami? Is he staying? And then it's like, yeah, it's official. He's going.
From
he's
what
going to the Celtics.
I heard and read, it was that Hayward had made a decision on Boston before he could even start talking to the Jazz, because he was going to go to the Jazz and talk to them first about his decision, then go to Boston. Someone in his camp obviously leaked it. And I would just like to put it out there. Have you been on NBA Twitter a lot in these last few days?
Oh, yeah.
Because Woj has been getting roasted by Sham.
Yeah.
Not even funny. It's not even close. Woj is dead. Woj is dead. Woj bombs are diffused.
Easy there.
It's the era of the Sham. Wow.
Anyway, and it's Cantor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's gonna be. I mean, it's really sad. R.I.P. Utah. It was gonna be a fun up and coming team in Utah, but we're gonna have to move on
Yeah.
because Boston's gonna be fun now too. Let's talk about Boston and Cleveland real fast. So Dave, you made it clear that you think Cleveland's still gonna win handily,
Because LeBron James exists.
but I'm not quite as. I mean, I feel like this is gonna be a competitive series in five at the least. Could be a 6-7 game series. And like you said, LeBron is either leaving or getting older in the next couple of years. And at some point, I think the Celtics...
When LeBron leaves.
Right.
Or, yeah, but I don't think that's next year.
It's older.
Maybe 2 years?
I agree
Maybe
with
3
you.
years?
So,
but
we asked the question earlier, who's the next Eastern Conference team to win the championship? If the question was, next Eastern Conference team other than the Cavs to go to the championship, I think I have the Celtics.
Oh, yeah.
Like, who's the next team to beat Cleveland? I've definitely got
The
Boston.
only problem there is that, like, remember the 2015 Hawks won 60 games, had 4
true.
All-Stars,
And then...
and they got swept.
But I think,
And-
oddly enough, even if the Celtics are them but a little bit better,
Yeah.
the Cavs window is closing. So I think
Yeah,
this is the
absolutely.
time. And that's weird to say that because we've just had LeBron and the Cavs as a fixture in the finals
We've had
for so long.
LeBron as just the East for, let's see, 10 years now.
And even if he stays, he's 32.
Yeah.
Kyrie is still playing defense. Love isn't young. Channing Frye can't play in the finals. Richard Jefferson's going to retire. Love you both.
Korver doesn't play defense.
Tristan
either. He
Thompson
tries,
doesn't
but
know.
he can't.
Yeah, Tristan Thompson doesn't know how to basketball in the finals.
Yeah.
JR is Shumpert's getting traded. Maybe you know what I mean. Like the Cavs are not invincible. I feel like anymore.
Not, like they went from being like they still have this to Dan Gilbert firing Griff, and now they're like
The whole organization
already
blowing up.
gone. They're probably not even made the finals.
And there was already a stretch in the season this year that showed that coming.
Absolutely. This year I'm gonna take Cleveland still in
Yeah.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
Year after that, if LeBron stays,
Eh,
6 or 7, and then you're really talking the Celtics could win. And how old is Gordon Hayward? 27.
I believe so.
Like he's not in the hurry to go anywhere. You know, I mean, he's gonna be developing with Tatum and with the draft picks they still have coming.
Yeah.
They still have the Brooklyn pick for next year. They could
I
have
don't think
another.
he's going to be top 3.
They could have another top 5 guy with this team.
And a pick from the trade, right?
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
Lakers pick. So like, let's talk.
That they get Kings pick.
We're talking about this off air earlier today.
Wow.
The Celtics wing depth is ridiculous right now.
It's not even fair.
Let's just talk about point guard, shooting guard, small forward. Let's just list all the competent players they have: Isaiah Thomas, Marcus Smart, Terry Rozier, Avery Bradley, Jaylen Brown, Jay
Jason
Crowder,
Tatum.
Jason Tatum, and Gordon Hayward.
Yeah.
And I'm missing one.
Probably.
Yeah, that's
No one important like
does
Gerald
Demetrius
Green
Jackson
or
count?
Joe
Gerald
Young,
Green.
but
Yeah. So that's 8 guys that could be a starter somewhere in the NBA for sure. But they have at those 3 positions. I mean, that's ridiculous. They're gonna roll out some really fun small ball lineups with that
Yeah, they
team
are.
this year. All right. Moving forward, buyouts. I want to touch on this. There have been a lot of talks about Melo and Wayne Wade being bought out.
Thanks everybody. Have a good night.
I'd definitely be into it, but
I'm into it because at this point, we're so far gone. Houston is like, I feel like when Cleveland went all in, right? They're like, I don't even want to look at a pick until 2025. I feel like Houston's right on the precipice of that, where they can be like, we can still be a little bit flexible here, or we can just go all in for the 2 seed and try and see for something, try to go for something magical, and that's what Daryl Morey does. He doesn't tank. And so I think,
if Houston gets Melo right now, are you having the Golden State conversation yet?
Yep.
I'm not.
I am. Now
How
here's
do
the thing:
how
the
they gonna guard down?
conversation doesn't mean they're going to beat him. Conversation means that it's finally serious.
Yeah, maybe.
Conversation,
feel like Golden State
conversation doesn't even mean that they're remotely similar. Conversation means maybe we can get past the 5th game.
Yeah,
And that's good
I'll
enough for
I'll
me.
give you that. I mean, I think Houston's the team. If anybody's gonna be Golden State. By the way, how much fun are OKC Golden State games gonna be now?
Quite.
Like last year, they were fun because of the whole revenge thing.
Especially at the end when they say, "Yeah, it's all right. I'm out of here too next."
And
year."
hopefully that still won't fade out this year. We'll still get cupcake chants and stuff, and we'll get Paul George versus Kevin Durant.
That'll be a cool.
Russell
matchup.
Westbrook versus.
I wanted to watch Paul George take on Durant from Cleveland.
And
I thought that'd be such a cool
That'd be
team.
cool.
But
Someone to guard Durant.
Whatever.
So we get PG Durant, we get Russ Curry, we get Patrick Patterson, Draymond, and we get Robertson, Clay. Come
Steven
on.
Adams versus Zaza.
That's
which
ridiculous.
They might not bring Zaza back yet even. But
Tony Douglas
Omri
versus Sean
Caspi
Livingston.
versus Shamaje Christian.
Okay, we're done now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but those are gonna be fun games, and I think Houston's my 2 seed right now for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like what I told you the other day. The Thunder improved exponentially for this next year because not just their players are better because they just got who else did they just sign today? Pat.
Yeah, Pat.
So you got 2 Pat, and you've got yeah, thanks. Rick. You've got PG-13.
Stash Brothers.
And Stash Brothers, yeah. Enos Kanter needs to get out of town. Though.
I think they need a better shooting guard. I mean, I'm not sure Robertson, Abrines, and McDermott are
I think Abrines is going to be enough, honestly.
Hopefully.
Because you got PG there. But what I'm saying is, you had Taj and you had Andre Robertson, who are both non-factors from outside. Taj is less of a factor even than Andre Robertson. So you put Andre Robertson back at the 4 like he was 2 years ago. Right? He was at the 4, right? Yeah, he was. And then you bring in PG. Your spacing gets so much better by removing Taj and putting in PG. And now you also add the little bit of spacing you get from Robertson. I mean, their spacing has gone up exponentially.
I almost feel like
Russ is going to be able to go wherever he wants on the court.
not to like totally.
And by the way, he's winning
argue the
back-to-back
opposite of your
MVPs.
point.
I'm calling it right now.
But you remember? I think Durant has a chance. Anyway, you remember the series with Durant and the Thunder, the conference finals last year.
Oh, this is
what
such a good series.
What they did was they put Cantor and Adams together out there.
Yep.
And I think they can still pull off gimmicks like that. They can still go a little bit big. Those guys both play well together.
Except for the fact that Cantor can't play D.
They're still going to be a tough, pretty
Can't
long team.
Player.
You're right.
Yeah,
You can't.
whatever it was. However Billy Donovan said it.
It's going to be they're still going to be a solid competitive team. Dwayne Wade getting bought out, Nick, from the Bulls?
I kind of doubt it.
Me too.
Thanks.
Garpax. But if he does, Cleveland, I mean, does Cleveland even want him? He's not going to guard anybody.
Man, I mean,
They haven't followed
Someone
through
said-
Miami.
on any trades or signs yet. So
Miami.
someone said this. I believe it was on an FS1 show. I think it was on on Colin Coward.
Oh.
It might have been Jim Jackson. Either way. Hey, I'm a Coward fan. I
Why
like
not?
it. Can he be a nut? Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's not Nick
Is
Wright,
he
so
not?
whatever.
Yeah, true.
I like this thing coming. Anyway, they said Dwayne Wade just has a way of making things happen in the finals. 06, he averages 40 points a game. Or 38, but who's counting? And then even after his prime, in those 4 finals with LeBron, he was still really good. You know, he finds ways of just pulling stuff out of his butt, for lack of a better term. And I think that's that kind of intangible, that kind of ceiling that you might not have from someone else on the bench in Cleveland. I mean, it's worth the shot to just sign him on a minimum deal.
I mean,
He's
if
still making that
he'll take
$22 million.
if he'll take minimum deal and if he'll take the
He'll take the
diminished
minimum.
role, then I mean
He'll take the minimum because he's still making the $24 million.
whatever the buyout is, yeah.
Yeah,
And then I think Miami's a candidate too.
true.
That'll be
Absolutely.
cool. I would really be into that because he's the guy who's getting a statue there. You
Yeah.
know, it's Wade County.
I mean, if
And
Big Diesel got one, then
Even though I enjoyed him coming to the Bulls, it was sad to see him leave Miami.
yeah.
But I think
It was
if he
weird.
could go back, it was the whole situation with him and Pat Riley.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Pat Riley, the Lakers kind of screwed their future by giving Kobe that big lifetime deal, like the 5-year or whatever, just before what he's done before.
Right. Yep.
Pat Riley avoided that really well. But anyway, him going back to Miami would be cool. It could be a 7
He
seed.
also cut Posh,
Yeah,
but I mean,
It's-
they had to, you know.
for
but
Bosch. They're retiring his number, classy move.
shout out to Bosch for
being
having
cool.
a great career.
I
Yeah.
love you, Bosch.
11-time All-Star.
Kirk Heinrich ripped the ball out of your hands.
Mounted by Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, how does that feel?
Had that nice block though in Game 7 against the Spurs.
True.
In
And
2015.
the
That
Ray
one
Allen
rebound.
shot,
and
Yeah.
that rebound.
he got the rebound. The reason LeBron has 4 rings instead of 3?
Yep.
Yep.
3 rings instead of 2.
4.
3 instead of
Two
Yep,
instead of
4
two, yeah.
MVPs,
Dwayne Wade has
3 rings. Yep.
3.
You're
So
right.
yeah.
If you hadn't got that rebound, Chris Bosh, LeBron would have 1 less ring. And I know you're listening. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Our second most famous listener behind Chad. All right, so we have written down just to do a rough conference power rankings. We're going to just kind of go over each conference, who we see where. It won't take long.
Yeah.
Let's start in the West. Where it's more
Okay,
fun.
so probably I feel like there's tough number 1.
Yeah, I mean,
it's either Golden State
Lakers,
or
Blazers.
Memphis.
Memphis,
So yeah, so it's Golden State, and then I think
Mavericks.
so it's Golden State, and then I don't want to be a homer from 10 states away, but I feel like it's probably Houston. I think the Spurs have decided, like, okay, next year's our year. Because they can get rid of LaMarcus Aldridge and they can.
I've got
recruit.
OKC over San Antonio at this point.
Me too. So
Because
I was gonna say OKC at the 3. Like
The Spurs
were
might have the second guy.
Spurs. I mean, they still gotta have Tony Parker on their team.
Do you think they can
After
pull off
that
a Marcus
ruptured
trade?
quadriceps,
Think they can pull it off?
no one wants him.
Yeah. I don't know who would take him.
Yeah, it'd have to be.
Phoenix or
I
something
hate
like that.
to take a Bill Simmons quote. It'd have to be 15 cents on the dollar.
Yeah, it would.
It really would.
And maybe that's enough just to unload him, but
Who
probably
knows?
not. All right.
So then, yeah, San Antonio
Spurs
at
4. After that, it gets fun. I got Minnesota, I think.
So do I.
Yeah.
And then
I would have had
New
Utah in
Orleans.
this area, but
Yeah, except get the heck away. Where
so I'm not a big New Orleans believer.
I am.
I like those 2.5 guys with Drew Holiday, but you can't have E'Twaun Moore boiler up and Solomon Hill starting in your lineup and be a 6 seed in the. Can you? I don't think so.
I think you can because DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis are the 2 best big men in the league.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
the other
Felicio, but okay.
Other problem is they also went 6-11 after they traded for him. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
so-
a big deal.
I'm not gonna give it
That's
to
a
them.
problem.
But who are you gonna put in front of them? I mean, Memphis.
No, because they lost Zebo. They're losing Tony Allen. They're not getting back Jermichael Green. I've heard as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
it's weird.
they're-
Denver is Denver better than Denver?
Denver is probably a 7, and I can't lie to you about that one.
Or okay.
I mean,
Now it comes down
actually,
to.
I think I said this yesterday in our group chat that it comes down for 6. It comes down to Denver or New Orleans. So I'll give you that. You're right. You're right.
Ahead of
I forgot about that.
next tier would be
Like
Clippers.
Clippers in Portland. Utah still has it. Utah can still
Yeah,
make the playoffs
maybe.
because they got all those young pieces like
Yeah.
Rodney Hood. I hate Dante Exum. I don't like, but Donovan Mitchell is still pretty lit.
This
I
is
mean-
this is what I have written down as a rough top 8: Golden State, Houston, OKC, San Antonio, Minnesota 5, New Orleans 6, Denver 7. I gave the Clippers number 8. I'm not really that confident in
Race
that.
for 8 seed is going to be really cool.
It could be. I think Memphis is in there, obviously. Portland is in there, obviously. And then who else is competent?
Timeout. Trade Lillard. Keep me calm.
Hot take.
Nothing.
Play
hot
some
about
defense.
It. Lukewarm take.
Yeah. Unload Evan Turner's contract. Weird.
And Allen
Portland's in a
Crabbe.
weird spot. Yeah.
What's the over-under
Myers
for
Leonard.
Minnesota's improvement this year from 31 wins?
Oh.
48.5 over under.
Under, because they're going to get like 45.
Okay, so you know how every offseason we say, oh, Minnesota's young and up and coming, this is their year. Now that
You
Jimmy
know how
Butler-
they've been saying that since the second Kevin Durant or Kevin
Yeah.
Garnett left that team?
Exactly. Now they have Jimmy Butler, so are we saying that Jimmy Butler is worth 20 wins?
I mean, he's the only reason that the Bulls won any wins.
They won 31 games last year. They lost their starting backcourt? Yeah, they lost their 3 best guards. Got back Butler, Teague, Taj Gibson. Is that
They
enough
still
for
have
a...
Tyus Jones, who, I mean,
He's not bad.
he's a backup.
He hit a big shot in Summer
He's
League. By the
definitely
way,
a backup.
Summer League is coming up. Bulls going to defend the championship. Our time to shine.
Rocket Summer League is going to be something to watch. You got
Chinua Unaku.
Unaku, Isaiah Hartenstein, Cameron Oliver, Isaiah. Oh my god!
I mean, you lost KJ McDaniels and Montrezl Harrell, so.
I wish I could be worried about it.
All right.
Let's quick
So,
to the East.
let's quick through the East.
Let's quick do the East.
Let's do the East quickly. Cleveland 1, Boston 2. Okay.
Yep.
Maybe flipped. We saw what happened last year.
I already hate this chart that you have because I disagree with it. Go
All
ahead.
right. After that, are we going to give the Wizards and Raptors the next 2 spots?
Washington faux shizzle. All right.
And then
Definitely Washington.
Are the Raptors ahead of Milwaukee?
No. Yes. No.
I think they are.
Yes.
I think the Raptors are going to run it back,
they are,
and they're
'cause you
going
got a
to.
whole season.
They're going to
blocked
do
now.
the. This is sad, but we're going to see the exact same Raptors team until one of those 2 guys leaves, right?
We're also going to see the exact same Raptors team we've seen since 1997.
Basically, yeah.
So, like, pretty cool, but
The losing round of the Cavs. Yeah. So, good try, Raptors. You're still the same team. Do they
then-
think it's going to work to bring the same guys back? Or
well, they signed them.
I guess they do.
Then I would agree
At
with
5,
the chart
I have the
here. You
Bucks.
have Milwaukee. Now, here's where I have problems. It's not Milwaukee. It's Charlotte.
How many games did they win last year, Nick? Milwaukee?
Milwaukee won 42.
Jabari Parker?
Ooh, forgot about him. You don't need him.
I really like him, but
46, 47, 48. I don't know.
Yeah, give him the 5, but he's not going to be back till December, I'm pretty sure. Maybe later.
Now you say Charlotte's going to be next ahead of Philly and everybody else.
Look at Charlotte. They've gotten so much better.
So I'm not a big Dwight Howard believer.
I'm not either, but
wish
you
I
put
could
him
be.
with Steve Clifford, who he worked with in Orlando.
Uh-huh.
Someone who believes in him. Someone who's going to use him right. I'm not saying Bud didn't use him right.
He has been in so many different teams. It's hard. Every time he gets to a new team, it's hard for me to believe that.
Because he was I'm going to shoot the 3 ball, and you know what? I'm going to be better this year.
So, Orlando, LA, Houston, Atlanta, here, Charlotte.
I think those Charlotte's got the right guys in place. You have Michael
Can you bring
Jordan,
Stannies up
Steve Clifford. These are great culture guys to really force him into the role that he should be playing.
So, last year, Charlotte won how many?
Shoot.
Knicks got it here.
36.
Yeah.
36. And that was what spot? Like 9 or 10? In the East?
10.
10 in the East. So,
11.
okay, so taking, picking up Dwight Howard instead of,
And Malik Monk
so Dwight Howard,
instead of Plumlee.
how many wins did Dwight Howard over Plumlee? Plumlee wasn't bad last year.
Plumlee was hot trash because
So
he was from Milwaukee, and the Milwaukee
That was Miles
offloaded
Plumlee.
him. Yeah.
This is Mason. He's been on the Charlotte for a few years, right?
No, Mason is in Denver. No. Yeah. he's
Oh
in
yeah,
Denver.
Mason's in Denver. This is
And
Miles.
Marshall's in New York. So Miles was in Milwaukee.
Oh yeah.
Got traded last year to the Hornets.
Cody Zeller played more than him last year.
Cody
didn't he?
Zeller is actually not a bad player. I
Yeah,
don't think.
just can't
not a good
defend.
player, not a bad player.
So they're putting Dwight in there, who's what, a 5-win improvement maybe,
Over Plumlee, absolutely.
and then Malik Monk ahead of
Marco Bellinelli.
Bellinelli, which is, I mean, I like
think
Monk,
right
but
now
I mean he's a
that's
rookie.
net.
He's a number 11 pick rookie. So like that gets you from 31 wins, 36 wins to 40. Like I
think
still
you're
don't.
over 500 with that team.
I mean,
that's enough.
It'll
In
be
the East,
close.
next
Yeah.
year in the East, that's
Yeah.
going to be enough for you to be a 6 seed.
could be. I still have Philly over them. I'm going to. Okay, well, let me make a case for Philly real quick. We know how good they can be if they're healthy.
That's the problem.
I don't think Ben Simmons' injury was that bad. You can probably agree with me on that.
Yeah, I do.
He should have come back in January. He could have, but they wanted to tank.
Rookie of the year.
Embiid, I think, similarly, could have been back earlier.
Yep.
So I think that they can be healthy, and I don't want to like jinx it, knock on wood. But even if one of those guys gets hurt, I like Philly's chances. They were 2 games beneath 500, I believe, when Embiid went down last year, and that was without Simmons. Now you're adding Simmons and Fultz.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the looks of that, and I'm gonna
No,
put
I
them.
definitely think that they're
right now.
7, 8 seed.
It's just
I
all
don't
a
know
matter
about
of
6, but
injury.
hey, yeah.
If they're healthy, they're 5 or 6.
And then the last team that we were looking at here, the Miami Heat.
I have Miami there. I don't feel good about it.
I feel very good about it. They finished with a 60-win pace after the halfway mark in the season. They finished 30-11 after going 11-30.
Is Waiters a free agent?
Yeah, he's looking
Is
to
he leaving?
leave. He's looking to leave. Yeah, he's fielding
Yeah.
offers. It's a problem.
I'm not.
Yes, but
I'm not a
whatever.
big believer in Miami. I don't think they're gonna have that guy. Like Whiteside isn't the guy.
I think Justice Winslow can be the guy.
Maybe, but
he's gonna be healthy.
he's not really a. He's a good defender, good role player, but I don't see him leading a team really yet, at least.
I think you got to give him more development. I think this is enough development. I mean,
Who else could possibly even sneak in there, though?
Detroit.
Here's who's
No,
left.
I don't like Detroit.
I
Either.
hate Detroit.
Atlanta,
No.
Chicago,
No.
Indiana,
No. Well,
Brooklyn, and Orlando.
If we keep
Yeah, I
Dwayne
don't
Wade,
know.
okay, so this would be a terrible, dumb decision if this happened, but Garpax. If we
Truth.
were to keep Dwayne Wade and maybe sign one more okay free agent, do you think a lineup of Dunn, Levine, Wade, Mirotic, Robin Lopez could win 36
if
games,
Chris
get 8
Dunn
seed?
didn't suck and Levine
If they played
wasn't
okay.
broken because he still hasn't had his ACL
He'll be back in
surgery.
January.
He still hasn't even had surgery yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it might be January. Yeah, there's no plausible way unless Larry Markkinen is like actually an all-star.
So I guess there are 5.5 good teams in the East.
Yeah, that's enough for me to not care.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, whatever.
The conference difference is so ridiculous right now.
Oh man, it's like 2 different leagues. It's like Euro League and the Dream Team.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
So is the off season more fun than the regular season?
Yes, why?
And the
Why do you
playoffs.
ask? Because it is. Yes.
It's crazy.
I mean, the league lost money in the playoffs this year.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right. That about wraps it up for today's episode.
Yeah, I
you
would
guys got
just
anything else to point out?
I just want to plug the new shows that are going to be coming up because we've got this whole network.
All right, let's
that
talk
we're trying
about a
to
couple
map.
of our ideas.
Yeah, so
We want to
ideas.
do a Bulls show and a Rockets show.
Yep.
The Bulls show would be me and Nick sitting down and crying about the Bulls
As we
for
say, it would
a
be
half hour,
it'd be
once a month, something like that.
It'd be titled Fire Garpax.
Something like that. And then your Rocket show would be you ranting for 45 minutes, I sit next to you and feed you more information and more.
It'd probably be something up our sleeve. Radio.
That sounds interesting. What, you just had radio answering room. We could, I like the idea of the college basketball podcast. Me and Nick could do one of those. Devin, you can stop by.
I'm trying to become a college fan.
That'd be fun.
I'm trying.
As you might notice, we have been calling it the Dedunked Basketball Podcast, and we're going to try and call it NBA now because we only talk about NBA and the name.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever talked about EuroLeague, so.
Yeah. And then, I think it'd be cool to do some other shows too. Maybe even another sport. Maybe we get a Cubs one. I don't know.
Yeah, for right now, we're definitely looking at Rockets. This show, Rockets, Bulls. I like college a lot. We could do that.
We could do an NBA history podcast, something like that. Even
that would be.
Really
Oh
fun.
my goodness!
Why
did you not think of that like an hour ago? That's such a good idea too.
We
got a lot of ideas.
We have thoughts. We have friends.
Very
fans.
excited to extend this brand to other mediums. This brand of what? Has anyone listened to this?
2 people
That I know of. Yeah, 2 or 3 people. Yeah. Are we related to all of them? Sure. But we have fun with it. So.
All right. Well,
Thank you.
that'll do it for today's episode. We'll keep you guys updated.
Thanks for listening if you did.
And that wraps it up for today's episode. It's getting late. We better really get out of here. We're gonna all die of tiredness. Happy 4th of July.
America.
RIP Utah. Take note. And we will see you guys later on.